Hello everyone, welcome back to Sparrows End. I'm bringing you another allotment video. I'm not sure if you can hear me very well over my dishwasher being really noisy, but here we are. I haven't been to my allotment for about 3.5 weeks, I think it is now, and I have mentioned in a previous June reset goals video that actually I need to get back over there, and one of the things that I need to do is to go and get a big section of it covered over so that all I need to do is worry about the maintenance of a couple of beds and a couple of fruit trees. I decided, because I recorded that video this morning, I'm just going to go this afternoon and I'm just going to make a start on this thing and hopefully get it done so that I can bring you more allotment content and stop stressing about and overloading myself about the allotment. So yeah, got my bag on my shoulder. Let's go, I'll meet you over there. So we're having to switch to a voiceover here because I forgot to take my windshield with me to the allotment and it was incredibly windy. Anyway, this is that patch at the front that I sowed the flower mix into, and it's not doing great, but there's definitely a few flowers coming through. I think it looks like there's going to be some Phacelia in here, which is a flower that the butterflies really like, and I've also got a few bits of it at home as well, so I recognise it. The path needs some little bits of grass plucked out of it. The wood chips got all kind of pushed about. That could be birds, it could just be the wind, it could just be that I didn't put it on particularly well, and this rose bush definitely needs rescuing. It's got so much grass growing through it, so I might be tackling that as well. The pear tree looks really healthy, looks fantastic this year. Really pleased with that. There's some comfrey down the side here that I think I will chop up or chop down and take that home so I can make some fertiliser from it. The lavender looks almost ready to bloom there. Lots more grass to dig out again. And that's my little section where I tried to start the middle bed, but then the allotment ran out of mushroom compost for me to use. The potatoes on the left there are looking pretty good, and then along the back here all of the grass has grown and it's actually looking fantastic in the sense that it's great for wildlife and full of insects and bugs and things like that. And for the moment I'm just going to leave it as it is, and eventually I'll put another bed there. That's me just pointing to the centre bed that I really want to finish at some point this year, but I'm probably just going to cover it over for now. A few little weeds popping through. The potatoes are looking good, but they do need weeding. Onions have survived. They don't look like they've grown very much since the last time we saw them, but they're still there and they're alive. Stray potatoes from last year coming through. Spinach has come through. Lots of weeds have as well. The mysterious squash or courgette has also survived. A few bits of coriander that are all kind of bunched together there, but definitely don't have a row of coriander. Some radishes that have come through. They look okay at the moment, not amazing. Again, it all just needs a really thorough weed. And then can't see any of the lettuce seeds or I think some beetroot I sowed in this section, and it's just not there anymore, so I'm assuming the slugs and snails have probably nibbled on the seedlings, so all of that needs weeding and something else planted in its place. But yeah, that's the state of play. Okay then guys, so I have done a little bit of weeding of the path and the bed at the front of the wildflower, but it had a mixed flower mix in it. I'm currently trying to film but also not film. And there's a couple of really cute little kids that are playing around my allotment plot, which is next door but one to their parents' plot. Yeah, I just don't want to get them on camera. You can probably hear them in the background. They're playing really nicely for the most part. Lots of make-believe games and pretending to be fishing and pretending to own a shop and all sorts of things. Very imaginative, and it's really lovely listening to them while I get on with my work. I have started to work on the rose bush. I've kind of pretty much cleared most of the grass around it, and I'm now going to clear the grass around the lavender, and I'm to a voiceover again, just because, as you could tell from that earlier clip, the wind is just far too noisy. Now, I have filmed a video since this one at the allotment and I remembered to use my windshield and it's so much better. Anyway, this is the little finished section that I was weeding and it looks so much better. Definitely nothing came up at that sort of near end. None of those seedlings are still there. I've got these rows of spinach and some coriander and everything's really clumped together, so I'm probably going to see about spacing those out, sort of thinning the clumps and then creating a row out of them. That potato plant I'm leaving there. Smaller ones are probably just going to dig those up. You can see on the left there I've brought a load of plants up with me and I've covered over a little section of what's going to be that middle bed, just to try and kind of keep the weeds down, keep it under control, so that when I'm ready I can go back and create the next bed there. In this section here I'm going to be planting out some cabbages, hopefully creating a netted arch for them as well, or netted cloche for them. I've given the path a little bit of a weed and trimmed along the edges there, so that looks a little bit neater. And you can see I've cut the grass away from the rose bush and it looks just spectacular. Look at it there. I absolutely love it. I'm definitely going to take cuttings from it. I really need to dig that patch out, but for now trimming down that grass has made it look so much better. I mean, look at that red. Oh god, it's a genuinely beautiful flower, beautiful rose. Really prolific as well every year. There's a lovely bee in the alliums there. They're beautiful as well, and I did move some last year into my cottage garden at home and I'm really glad I did because they look fantastic there. I might even take a few more from here and transplant them into my home garden. Been given some freebies from another plot holder. So excited. Right then guys, I feel like I've actually made some progress today and I've still got a few more bits that I'm going to do before I go back. I feel excited again. I'm relieved that I've been able to salvage things, and then also the fact that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'd built it up in my head that I'd left it for 3 weeks or more. It was just going to be horrific. It was all too much. I was going to mess up again, and even worse, I was going to mess up again whilst also filming things, which actually shouldn't matter, but it was a thought that crept into my head. So I'm going to show you what I've done so far and then tell you, I think there's 3 more things I'm going to do today, 3 or 4 more things I'm going to do before I go home. Okay, so I haven't done anything with the potatoes over there. They're all fine. What I've done here is, I said that I had sown some seeds and they hadn't come up very well, and I think I showed you, and they were together in a bit of a clump. Well, what I've managed to do is thin them out. So my spinach, I filled a little gap there. There wasn't really enough to do that middle bit, but I've also got a few more seedlings here, and then this row of coriander, I've managed to spread out the seedlings that had kind of formed a bit of a clump in the middle. I think something must have happened when I was putting the dirt back over the seeds, which kind of led to this clumped germination. But if they grow, then that's going to be pretty good. I've still got this here, which I'm trying to think what I grew in this bed last year. I had some spaghetti marrow and I had 3 or 4 courgette plants, I think. So something has come up there, which is probably either a courgette or a spaghetti marrow. I won't know until it's a bit bigger. I'm not quite good enough to identify which between the 2 of those it is. I've got my row of radishes here, which have just ended up under the netting just because they're so close to where I put the cabbages. But I've thinned them out a little bit. They're not looking too healthy. Something's nibbling them, but well, there you go. I have planted out 6 cabbages under this netting. The biggest and healthiest I've put down the middle, so those 4 are my kind of main ones. And then I thought to myself, I think there's enough room to just sneak those other 2 in there rather than take them home and not have anywhere to put them. I've already got 3 or 4 of my stragglers out of the cabbage plants that are going to be sort of planted out at home somewhere, just in one of the flower beds, I think. And then this section here, which is also under some netting, I've sown some, I think they're called Shiraz peas. They're from a packet that I picked up in the shed on the allotment where people put their sort of excess seeds, leftover seeds, things they don't want anymore. I'm not sure how likely they are to come up. They also suffered a bit of water damage quite a few weeks ago, but I figure even if a few of them come up and I get some pea shoots to eat in my salads, that would be fantastic. But hopefully I'll get some proper peas. And it's come around the other side. I also brought with me some leftover tomato plants and spring onions, so I've just added those along the front here, and I've got no idea, they're very close to the edge. I'm not sure that they'll get enough nutrients. They could be competing with the grass a bit too much. And the jobs that I've got left to do then, so this has survived being dug up and not replanted for over a year. So I figure I'm going to replant it. I'm going to let it live. And it might actually end up going back roughly where it was before, because this section I've talked about before, I want to get rid of the cordyline and then have some cut flowers, but things that are from shrubs, perennials basically. So that has lovely flowers on it in the autumn, so I might just dig a hole and chuck that in at some point before I go home. And then what I've done over here, this was the start of a new no dig bed, but I ran out of compost, or the allotment kind of ran out of compost. So what I've done is I've kind of pulled the compost that I had at that end because it was a bit too thin for planting into, and so I've now got a thick layer here. And these are the runner beans that another allotment holder has given me, so I am going to pop those in there, and I will bring some canes and stake them at some other point. Do you know what? I'm feeling quite excited again. I'm feeling quite excited. The pear tree is looking fantastic. Oh, let me show you. It's not a very good crop of cherries this year. This tree is often absolutely laden with them, but there are some, and they're fantastic to eat, and they are starting to ripen as well. So and also my other allotment kind of holders and the that I've spoken to, and the allotment committee have been really supportive in terms of reminding people not to take anything from somebody else's plot, including fruit from trees and things like that as well. I completely forgot to finish my video properly and to sign off. So here's some beautiful flowers that I picked from my allotment on that day and took them home and put them in a vase. And thank you for watching, and yeah, I will see you back here at the allotment again very, very soon.